Hey, and welcome to Fit with Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in. And now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome to this Fit with Turo Fitness podcast. In today's episode, I talk about should you take break during the summer from strength training? As this is a topic I talked actually last night with a couple of my members who are participating in my group workouts. And from my experience, I have seen it so many times that people, especially here in Italy, now when summer is coming, there is a nice weather outside, and many of people are thinking that now I rather do something like play tennis or go for hiking or walking or running or do some outdoor activities when weather is nice, and that I don't have time or I don't have energy to do some kind of resistance training or strength training. And this is something what I have seen, what I kind of feel always so sorry for people, as I have seen this trend happening so often. So most of the people, they are very consistent with their strength training during the summertime or during the winter time. And then when weather is now outside, it's easy to kind of convince themselves and talk themselves out of that. Now I'm still doing, I'm active, I'm doing some kind of resistance training, and now then when summer is coming, you are like that. No, I rather do something else what you enjoy. But this is also some of things like that you are good, like you think that I'm going to run. But honest truth is that most likely you won't be as consistent. So you need to have a plan. And the reason why that is so important is that just maintaining your results, maintaining your muscle strength also in warmer time of the year. So the reason for this is that even like I have members that they are coming very consistently, let's say 3 times a week, doing some training during the winter from September until end of April. And then when summer is coming, they are like kind of that now I need some kind of break or doing a bit less. And now when you might end up that this sounds very good, but honest truth is that it happens almost always when I see those people then in September again after taking a short break, I asked how was the summer? How did you stay consistent with training? And said, yeah, kind of first couple of weeks. But then as soon as something happens, if you don't have a plan in a place, like it don't have to be some group workout, it have to be some kind of plan what you know that you will do also in the times that you probably don't feel like it. Like obviously summer is time that you most likely you are doing rather some activities outside as weather is nice, and I totally get it. There is nothing wrong with that, but just keep it in mind that resistance training, strength training is something that you don't need to do a lot to maintain your results. So the reason for this is that even you do some activities like walking, you go for a run, you do something else than some kind of strength workouts what you probably don't enjoy that much than doing some other, like playing tennis. Like I love playing tennis at summertime. I love going for hiking, but I have said for myself that I have my non-negotiable strength training, that what I must do to at least 2 times per week. In ideal cases, some weeks it's going to be 3 times. If I have more time, maybe even 4, but that's very rare that I aim for 4 times per week, just because that's I try to do minimum amount of strength training to maintain my progress and to see even some kind of progress, because it's not about at the moment my goals are not some that I don't need to. I do it for my health and to basically maintain where I am and to get all these benefits. So strength training is something like that. It takes like how often you should then strength train and what are the benefits even doing a minimum amount of strength training. So strength training is something that it takes a lot of effort to get some results. So if you think like if you haven't done it for a while and you decide to start doing even one strength training session, it can be lifting weights, it can be using your body weight only, it can be using bands or whatever equipment you have available, but just training your muscles. And by the way, so many people think that walking or cycling or hiking is kind of strength training because you are using your legs, or like in cycling that you use your legs, but that is not the strength training. That is endurance training, and you are training only your heart. Like even you are using your muscles. What is the definition of strength training? Strength training is something that you go pretty close to failure for some movement. So obviously, if you are, for example, let's say that you are walking, so it would mean that you are walking uphill, so that you can't imagine that you would make, let's say, 3 more steps. So, and that is most likely not happening with cycling. It's not happening with hiking or walking. So even you are using your muscles and even you are using your legs, that is not the strength training. Because strength training is something that you use that kind of resistance that you go pretty close to failure. And that is a work what you don't need to do a lot to maintain your results. So it's, if you look some studies what are out there, it's, if let's say that it's 5 sets per week per muscle group. So that is not a lot. Like if you can get in 30-minute workouts, so 1 hour of resistance training per week, that is pretty much everything you need to maintain your results. And if you haven't done it a lot lately, like let's say that you are brand new starting strength training, you are seeing progress with doing one strength training session per week, because it's something new for your body. So your body is adapting for this new signal. You are seeing the differences even one session per week, but then obviously more experience you have, longer you have been doing it, the same amount is not going to be any more beneficial. Like you need to do always something more. So you might get for the first, let's say 3 to 6 months or even 9 months, some kind of benefit, seeing progress. But then at some point, if you want to see progress, you need to do, I would say that for most people, even two times per week, you are able to see some kind of progress. And to get most optimal results is if you get 3 to 4 sessions per week, and that is kind of sweet spot for most people. What is enough, what is sustainable with your lifestyle, but also seeing enough progress that it keeps you going. But the most important part is to also in those periods of time when you do something else rather, like doing outdoor activities, is to maintain that habit and putting that kind of your strength on maintenance. And there it comes that even that one session per week so beneficial. So think it this way, that as I tell a little bit about my own background. So I was professional ice hockey player. When I turned 30, I retired, and I was kind of so tired of doing strength training, going to the gym. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. And then that was the time when I decided that I'm not going to lift any weights. And it took me 10 years to get back on that. And I lost so much muscle mass. I lost my strength. And the hardest part was when at some point, I decided that now I have been talking myself out of it long enough. I didn't have any plan what I should be doing. And even I sometimes even within this 10 years, I did maybe occasionally 1, 2 workouts, but I never really stayed consistent because I just didn't have a plan how I'm going to do it. So it was one workout, maybe for a week, maybe for two, but then it never lasted longer because I didn't have any plan on the place. So then when I started, it's like obviously I remember everything, like how much weight I used when I did some squat or bench presses or something, or what was my like. Obviously, when I was a younger male, there was nobody asked that. I didn't even think about it that I do it for my health. I did strength training for my performance, and they asked how much was like when you are younger, how much bench press you get, what is your 1 rep maximum bench press, squat, deadlift. And of course, I remember those results, what I had in my best times. And for example, squats, I used to squat like 200 kilos earlier. And then when I restarted, I was like with 50, 60 kilos and my legs were shaking. I was sore after first workout for a week. And I was like that, holy shit, man, where I am now, I have lost everything. But the good thing is with strength is that you have muscle memory. So it took for me around 3 months, I would say, that I got pretty close to back to that level where I used to be. So it doesn't take long to get back to the levels or close to levels where you used to be if you have done it at some point of your life. But you make just your life so much easier when you keep and maintain that habit throughout for the summer. And I like to think it always this way that even like I do, and what we talked yesterday with some of my members who are participating in my group workouts is that okay, even if you love to go for hiking, you love to play tennis, you love to do some kind of outdoor activities, think these as a bonuses what you naturally enjoy, and try to maintain, even it's only that one workout, one session per week, during also in the times when you rather do or prioritize something else. But that strength, maintaining it makes it so much easier, because if you quit everything and you know that you are not going to strength train for, let's say, 3, 4 months, you make that decision. It takes you, when you restart, it's not that you are losing everything, you still get it back relatively easy. So it's not that you are ruining everything, but it takes you 1, 2, 3 months to get back to the levels you used to be. And if you are able to maintain, even you are not getting any improvements, but you are maintaining where you are and focusing on improving something else, like for example your tennis game or hiking, you work on your endurance. So there is something what you always focus, and you put kind of that strength on maintenance. And it's the same thing on opposite. Then maybe in other time of the year, you put that strength kind of on front seat, that you are focusing on building that strength and putting that kind of that cardio or endurance kind of on back seat, and it's going to be a bit less. And this way, within 1 year or within, let's say, 5, 10 years, you are going to see so much more progress when you are doing consistently kind of everything, even it's going to be a bit less. And you are going to see, because this thing that this fitness thing, like it's meant to be for life, not for like that now I have to last still for 1 month or 2 months. No, it's going to be for life. And I hope you are never coming to a point that you quit totally, because quitting, and it's that you're not staying consistent. It's at some points you might need some kind of break, but I have seen it so many times that these are like, even it's so easy to talk yourself out of it, like with the busy work or whatever is happening in a life, that now you need a break. But you have to make also a decision how long your break is going to be, and how you are going to get restarted, because longer you are taking that break, harder it is to getting back into that routine. So it's just to prioritize and think that even it's a bit less than you ideally would do, it's always worth of it to do, to maintain your results and keep the strength up so that you are not losing your progress. And because if you take that kind of well-deserved break and do something else, focus on something else, it takes so much longer. So if you think like even it's only one session per week for 3 4 months in a warmer summertime, you are in totally different spot when you again have more time, you have more energy, and you don't. It's not maybe like here in Italy, it's not so hot outside that you don't you 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 don't do some outdoor activities as much as in maybe in summertime. So it's a it's really like those stories what I hear like from people always in summer, because I feel so sorry. I feel so like that, oh my god, again one, like that they are like that, I don't have, I do something else. And I already know at the moment, like I try to be kind of nice and tell it like that how you are going to do it and convince them to do. But then when it comes to September or something, people are like taking off for the summertime and coming to in a September. No, and then I said, how did it went? How you planned taking that break? So yeah, in May I was like doing running a couple of times, but then got lazy. And when you get out of that routine, it's so hard to get like, because it's so easy to talk ourselves out of it. I do it also with myself. I have got better with that now, that if I take some break, what I of course sometimes need, or there are some injuries, you get sick, but it's so hard to get back on that routine what you have had. And now I have kind of changed my own approach, that I barely never take breaks. uh how I do it every time, like I decide every single Sunday, I look my schedule, how my schedule is looking, I make decisions how often I will start my strength training. I have a program. Then if I ideally, let's say at this point, I would do 3 strength training sessions per week, which would be like around 30 45 minutes each session. If I see that my schedule, how my schedule is looking, I have time maybe only 2 times, but I never promise myself that I have to finish my workout. I promise myself to start my workout. So I have a place. I have to put my workouts into my calendar, that they are non-negotiable appointments with myself, and I have to get started at that time. I don't ask myself that how I feel, am I motivated? I get into my garage where I work out, I get started. And I know that when I get myself there have been some days that I work out only for 5 maybe 10 minutes, maybe some days it's a 15 minutes, but I must get started. I don't talk myself out of it to not get started. And if I need to reduce amount of exercises, I have to make the decision already on Sunday. And those appointments with myself, if it's 2 times per week, I keep them. And this way I have stayed consistent. And if I think my workouts, if I how I feel, if I feel motivated, uh, I would say that maybe from 10 past my last 10 workouts, I have been motivated maybe 2 times, maybe one. It's usually between 1 to 3 workouts from out of 10 workouts that I feel motivated. And all maybe there are like 4 or 5 workouts that I feel like that I don't mind doing it. And then like the rest, like 3 4 workouts, I try to talk myself out of it. And I know that if I wouldn't have these systems in place, I would not get started. I would talk myself out of doing things what I know that I need to be doing in order to feel better in the long term. So it's all about like that consistency. It sounds so easy, but it's really, I have to say, I'm fitness professional. I know that your life is, I do this for a living, but and I know you have probably, I don't have a children. I have a lot of work going on at the moment, but it's still all about like those decisions what you make and kind of prioritizing like earlier, I would say that work is more important. I have to do this, but I said if I don't have if I don't take time for my own health, I might be working more hours, but I'm not as productive as I am when I have done my workout. I feel energized. I feel so proud of myself when I have done it, and I know I'm pretty sure you feel it too, that you don't regret workout what you have done, that holy shit, why I did workout, that now I have only like I have 30 minutes less time to work, because I'm pretty sure that if you work full hours or you work, you are getting so much more done in a days when you have worked out. So it's really, at least for me, it's just a way to talk myself out of it, kind of with the business or work or whatever is going on in life, to not work out, to find kind of excuses, what the things what you don't naturally enjoy doing. Like in my case, it's a strength training. If somebody is asking me to play tennis or go for a walk, that's I'm like right away that all right, let's go when we go, like, because this is something what I truly enjoy. But I know that if I don't do that strength training, it's in a long term, it makes me, I might get injured, or I know that in the past I have got injured, I have had pains, everything, and I didn't feel so good. Like obviously after workout, it's you don't feel it, but in the long term, those benefits of doing that strength training, they are just life changing. And this is, I just want you to keep it in mind when you are making those decisions, that make a plan, like either it's appointment, either with yourself or sign up for gym or some session, what you know that you have to go, or make it out with your friend or two, or even better if you have two or three friends who are going. So you kind of put someone down, or it could be that if you need some coach or something who is holding you accountable, like, okay, it's in my, it's, I'm a bad salesman, but in my coaching, like those people who I work with directly, they, when I see if they have done workouts, I message them, I ask them things, it's a lot more likely that you are actually doing it. So keeping yourself accountable in some way, or in my Facebook group for my members who are in my membership coaching program, they are posting their wins, struggles. We have weekly, monthly check-ins, weekly challenges. So it's always like kind of, even it's not the main priority all the time, but you keep it in your mind that those are things what you need to be doing in order to get all those benefits in the long term. So just think it twice in those, all these kind of decisions what you are going to make for upcoming times or summer, if you are in a situation that should you take a break, or should you do it just to is it worth of it to doing it because it's only one time per week? Is it worth of it? So absolutely do make a plan, and in some form try to keep that habit up, because it's always so much easier when you have that habit. If it's a simply doing a 5 minute workout or a couple times per week or 10 minutes, you are consistent, you are showing up. And then it's so much easier to start adding things when you have that already, that habit. Was It's like I struggle also with that kind of perfectionist mindset, that it's either all in or nothing. Or at least that was earlier, it was a lot worse. That's that if I don't have time to work out for 3 times per week, what is the point even to work out one time per week? And now when I changed it, that I need to get started. It don't have to be perfect. It have changed literally everything. So keep that habit up somehow, and because those short breaks, they are ruining your progress. Because even if it's a short break, that's not ruining anything. But often those short breaks, they end up not being short. I know it, for me personally, it's every holiday when I plan a break for a week or two from my workouts, it's so hard to get back on it. But that's why I have learned that I have to do it no matter what. I have to get started with my training right after the holiday, because even it's the last thing I naturally want to do, but to get back on it, because ultimately, what makes the difference? What makes the difference with the people with their fitness journey is their ability to get back on track after bad days or bad times. So that is literally everything. Like, so it does it, and this applies to everything. It's also for your nutrition. It's for your workout. So because everybody is having those times or periods of life when you can't do everything perfectly, but what matters the most is that your ability, how fast you are getting back on track, or are you trying to make it up what you think that you have kind of ruined your progress. And when you are doing it, when you are getting just simply back on it, you don't ruin anything. But longer you take, harder it will be, and slower your progress will be. And obviously slower if you don't see any progress, or you feel that you are going downwards. It's so demotivating, and it's harder to get back on it. So strength is something that you don't need to, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to build it. But the good thing is that it takes also a lot of time to lose it. And you don't need a lot to maintain it. So maintaining it, it's very simple. You don't need to, if you do, like I said, one strength training session per week, you are basically able to maintain everything. Like, obviously it depends what is your activity, how is your workout history, but for most people, 1 45-60 minute session per week is more than enough to maintain everything what you have. And then at some point when your priorities are different, your time is different, you have maybe more time available, it's so much easier to start adding things and focusing on, and you don't need that kind of rebuilding phase and getting back on it where you were. Even if that happens, good thing is that, like I mentioned, that muscle memory, which is a real thing, it requires that you don't need too much effort to get back on that level where you used to be. Like for me, that's my example, 10 years and took like 3 months, and I would say 90% on that level where I used to be at some point. So it really doesn't take too long. It comes relatively easy back, but to avoid that you get back on it where you kind of stopped prioritizing your strength, it's so much easier. So I hope everything is going well with your fitness journey. And I hope this episode helped you to kind of setting your priorities and thinking it those that even you do temporarily something else rather, what gives you also obviously that enjoyment, what is the most important thing of doing it, but that maintaining that strength is such a valuable thing. So I hope this helped. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM in my Instagram at personal trainer _Turo, or email me turo@fitmeturo.com. And talk to you in the next episode.
Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me Turo Fitness Podcast.